All right, we will call this meeting to order. And I'll start with the land acknowledgement. We acknowledge that we are in Robinson Treaty Territory. The land on which we are gathered is the traditional territory of Anishinaabe and known as Bawatang. Bawatang is the home of the Garden River First Nation, Batchewana First Nations, and the historic Sault Ste. Marie Council. We honor and respect these Indigenous people as the ancestors and traditional stewards of the land upon which we stand today. May our relationships with the land teach us to live and work in good relationship with one another. Approval of the agenda, moved by Councillor Weir and seconded by Councillor Caputo.
Be it resolved that Council hereby accepts the agenda for Tuesday, January 13th, 2026, and any addendums as present.
Any questions about the agenda? All in favor?
Aye.
Disclosure of pecuniary interest? None. So previous meetings, moved by Councillor Christensen, seconded by Councillor Chutenko.
Be it resolved that Council hereby accepts the minutes of the regular Council meeting of December 9th, 2025, and any addendums as presented.
Any questions about the previous meetings? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Questions and information arising out of minutes not otherwise on the agenda? None. Petitions of our delegations? None. And staff reports. Fire report, January 2026 and 2026 fire budget, moved by Councillor Chutenko, seconded by Councillor Caputo.
Be it resolved that Council hereby accepts the January 2026 fire report and the 2026 fire department budget as included.
And back to
I just have a quick point there.
Yes.
I just wanted to bring forth before our distinguished fire chief speaks. I'm glad that we don't have the situation and the problems that the city is incurring with their audio visual and their vocals and everything. I'm glad that ours is all working great.
You just jinxed us, you realize that.
I know.
Like, I know halfway through it's gonna be.
No.
That wasn't always the case either.
No.
So we're in good shape, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree.
I remember our owl was always
Yes.
on the
It's
fritz.
a little wonky, yes.
Yeah, I can remember my kind of just touching over.
Yeah.
Yeah, eh?
Well, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Start another one, eh? So for council report, I just attached the fire department budget at the end of it, so we'll start with that. Training self-explanatory. So equipment. So in 2024, the province passed, as part of their budget, they allocated $10 million each year for fire department grants. Fire departments they came up with the parameters, and fire departments would apply for whatever they needed that was within those parameters. So last year, we got $8,000. We bought a set of PFAS-free turnout gear. We sent, I think, 10 sets of gear away to get clean. We bought a second set of gloves and a second set of Nomex hoods for everybody. So that was $8,000. So at the end of the last summer, they came out and said that they were going to double it for 2026. So Sam and I did an application for it, and what we've applied for is 4 sets of PFAS-free turnout gear. So just to kind of go over that. So the number one cause of firefighter fatalities is cancer. Our gear is what we wear for every call we go on whenever we train. Unfortunately, it has what's called PFAS in it, and it's an acronym, and I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce it, but it's called a forever chemical, and it's a waterproofing agent. Unfortunately, they found out that causes cancer. So basically, our firefighters are exposed to cancer whenever they put on their turnout gear to go on a call. So Jim and I kind of made the grand presumption that we're going to switch to PFAS-free turnout gear. The city has already. They've equipped all of their firefighters with the second set of gear. So the first set we got was last year. So when this grant was doubled, we put in the application that we're buying 4 more sets. So that'll give us 5 sets out of 18 firefighters. So they approved it. So you're going to see coming up in your agenda, I believe it's a bylaw, isn't it, Mike? Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a bylaw coming up that's an approved agreement between us and Teapon, Ontario, so that they can give us some money and we can buy the turnout gear. So they've approved us for $19,380. That's awesome. Yeah, it is. I hope they do it next year and they double it. if that's the, when I say double, I mean double from the first year, so that we can get another 4 sets. It's not cheap, it's $4,000 a set. But you kind of have to go with, say, the balance of probabilities, right? The very first place that we got to stop for cancer, there's the SCBAs, but we don't wear SCBAs every fall. Everybody puts it here. So that's where that's gone. And then fire prevention was basically keeping up with social media accounts and participating. Does anybody have any questions about that? Nope. Okay. So I put the numbers in here, and I put in a report after that kind of goes over all the everything that we're going to be doing. So new apparatus and equipment, $22,000. As I said, $19,380. That is going to be paid for by the province. So we have 5 pairs of boots and 2 helmets that are coming up on their 10-year lifespan, so they have to be replaced. And then we kind of kept it thin here for $620 for other equipment, but I think after 6 years, I can finally say we're caught up on replacing stuff as well. So I'm pretty happy with that. Okay, training. So there's been a lot of this bantered around, especially around this area, about the minimum standards for firefighter training. So we'll start out with the first thing. When I left Southwest Oxford, my training records were destroyed. So according to the province, I had no training. Jim has the training, but he trained under the old Ontario system, which was changed to NFPA in 2013. It was an opportunity for him to be grandfathered. The chief that was on at that time decided not to grandfather anybody. So according to the province, he has no training. So when this came out and they said that July 1st, 2026 is going to be the deadline to have your firefighters trained if they've started within the previous 3 years, Jim and I looked in that and went, that's a heck of a good time to retire. So as of July 1st, you're going to have a new chief and a new deputy chief. So last year I went to our captains, who are all qualified to be chief. They all have the training. And said, okay, we're going to need a chief and deputy chief. And they all said, well, it's not going to be us. So went to plan B. So we have our new chief, who we started July 1st. He runs a Fortune 500 company here in Sault Ste. Marie. He has masters in business. He was a firefighter down south in the West Lincoln Fire Department, right beside Hamilton. He moved up here for work. He joined us. So he definitely has a good business head on his shoulders. Person we have picked out for deputy chief lives here in the township. He works from home. He works for Tormont Cat, and he takes care of the technician service portion of Caterpillar from Ontario East. He's also ex-military. Smart dude. So they're all used to managing people. They're going to be trained. I believe their last weekend of training is actually the 3rd weekend of July. So we're just going to get them in under the wire for the mandatory minimum training. And I'm happy to report that that is going to bring us up to the level we need to be. So we're not going to have any issues meeting the legislation. So the reason that I have this up here is here's the legislation. So this is, I don't know if you want to write down this little reg and peruse it later. It's up to you. So this is the law. This is not a suggestion. This is not an NPA standard. This is the law. You have to meet this. And I don't think I'm going to be kind of out of the realm by saying this because it's on suit today. But the fire marshal's office has already gone in and shut down Patch Pond Fire Department. So they are now being run by the fire department. So they're being proactive on this. In my opinion, rightfully so. So when you go down here, there's 3 columns. There's a little bit saying how long the legislation takes, and some people can operate at one level if they're supervised by a person that has training. Basically, when you go down here, there's 3 columns. One is what fire protection service are you providing? And then it says what the minimum certification is going to be, when the deadline is. So we are number 8. As per our fire regulating bylaw, we do interior attack, auto extrication, hazardous materials response, and fire suppression operations, enter interior of the building, and perform rescue, automobile electrification services, and hazardous materials. So that means in the middle line there, they have to have their NFPA 1001 firefighter 2. We put addition to that we want them to have some hazardous materials. That's NFPA 1071, and that has to be by July 1st, 2026. So that meets our fire regulating bylaw. And if you go down to number 16. To be a team lead on that, fire chief. In addition to that, they want you to have NFPA 1021, which is a standard for fire officer professional qualifications. So Once July 1st comes over, our captains already have that still in your way. They're going to supervise the chief until the chief gets up. So we just have to wait for the next one. Is there any questions about that? I know a lot of departments are just saying that we can't meet it. We've been working on this hard for 3 years. We've got a good train, and that's a testament to the firefighters that you have. I mean, they just, once a person's done, they're like, what do we do the next one?
I just have a couple of points I'd just like to clear up. Is it time for you, Steve? Sorry.
So I started with Peel Regional Police in 1987. I'm almost 60. I've got almost 40 years in emergency services. I'm good.
Like all these years that you spent and built and done and all the above and beyond you've done, does it have to do with this government regulations? Have you trained and have you tested or?
Well, no, like, I mean, we can get a whole conversation about that.
Yeah, I like to, because I think that first and foremost, we discussed this about it being a money grab by the government. Thinking and asking and wanting, like everybody, like I didn't know about the Bachelor one. But like, is there no recourse or like you can't find your records anywhere or your?
No, they just destroyed them. So Jim and I, you have to understand, Jim and I are getting up there. And I mean, I've been through a lot of crap in 40 years, to be perfectly honest with you.
Okay.
And even here. So I'm quite happy to let somebody else. I'm a firm believer that every 5 to 8 years you should have a change in leadership. Brings in new ideas, new ways of doing things. So we have a program called Fire Queue that we run the fire department off of. It captures our pages, our reports go on there, our pay is run through there. So that's this here. I've been kind of using it as a basic thing. Since these two have come on, they've gone through this and like the stuff that they're doing with this right now is fantastic.
Okay.
Okay, they're they're younger than me, more technically, I guess you could say evolved. I mean, I can do basic stuff with this, but they're going to take this and they're going to run with it. So as you can see on there, they're putting in just from January 1st, the number of trainings we're going to. We're going to keep track of all the hours of training that we do, hours of calls. Bottom right-hand corner is the calls we've been to in the last few days. Everything is captured on there, the audio from our calls, everything. Like that's just an example that I wouldn't take that on. And I know that Jim's older than I am. So it's going to be up to the new fire chief, but we can stay on as pump operators.
I was just gonna say, are you gonna stay on?
That's going to be up to the new fire chief. I can stay on as a pump operator, responding to medical emergencies and to do wildfire responses. I can't do structural firefighting or hazardous material, and I'm really good at that.
Well,
What about the?
I know July is a bit away, but I only have 2 words, and that's thank you. I mean, I've been the liaison to the fire department since I've been on council, and I've never had to ever worry once about going over there and making sure everything's done because of your leadership. And I just wanted to say thank you.
And I don't think you're going to have any issue with the next two coming.
Well, I just wanted to talk about you because there's another day and another meeting and another time.
I tell my firefighter this, and just quick, and this will kind of outline. You know who Pinball Plumbing is? I used to play for the Toronto Argonauts, linebacker. No, not football guy? Okay. Yeah. Anyways.
From Sault Ste. Marie, I know Mr. Cazzola. Norm played middle linebacker for the Toronto Argonauts.
So they used to have Bob McCown used to have a sports show on at 4:00 every night. So when I lived in Barrie, I used to sit down and watch it. And they interviewed him right after he became the president of the Toronto Argonauts. And of course, I'm a road sergeant at the time down there. And so Bob McCown was asking, okay, now that you're here, how are you going to choose your people? Like, are you going to have certain qualifications? And he said, the key to being a successful supervisor is to never be the smartest person in the room. And I heard that. Geez, that's a good saying. So I kind of took that on. So same with the fire department. I am not the smartest person in the room. There are firefighters there that are much smarter, much better qualified to lead this place and to carry it on. I just happen to be the leader right now. So that's going on top of the wayside, July 1st. We have 2 guys that are coming in that are really going to take this on and keep going. If we had nobody, I would be scared. But we're planning for it, right? So the pay that we did in December, they were involved in that. They were a little bit involved in this. So as we go through now, everything that we come up with, all the recertification apparatus equipment, they're going to be involved in it. May and June, I'm going to step back and they're going to act as chief, and then July 1st we'll pull the switch and the system manager switch. So we've got plans.
I know that I am very comfortable with this, knowing that you would not step away, not knowing that you'd have someone there to really replace you. So I appreciate you taking the time and effort to do that as well. That's huge for us because we know you know what you're doing. And I am very similar. Someone once told me, if you want to be a leader, surround yourself with the best people.
Yep.
And I firmly believe that, and I followed that throughout my career. So it's similar to what you're saying. I completely agree, and that's the way I operate as well. So
What had this new man? So first of all, for the record, I am very much in favor of this mandatory minimum training. Very much in favor of it. I think for too long we've kind of just been we were doing it. Oh, come on. We were doing it here. Like we were doing stuff that we probably shouldn't have been doing with training that we didn't have. Well, I saw it when I came on, we were kind of at the rock bottom. And there's lots of departments out there that have been doing it because they haven't been funded and they've been ignored standards and been ignored training. So thank you to this council and the previous council because we had to start right from the bottom, start getting our trucks online so that we could have equipment to respond to fires. Finding out for 200 feet of our hose tested failed testing, and then right up until the SCBA. So we're in a good spot. So thank you.
And sometimes if you don't have rules like that in place, that's when people get hurt because they're not set up to do the job that we want them to do, right? So
Absolutely.
That's not what we're here for.
That's
Either. Don't want anybody to see anybody here.
That's right. So I'm sure that you've heard that there's other councils that are passing biological resolutions to ask the province to extend this or to cancel it. I work for the province, I'm not going to cancel it.
No.
There's a reason for this, right?
For sure.
You'll also notice that you have not had the income team because Sam has asked me and I said, no, we'll put that in, we're fine. So we're going to be good. So as part of the training, so we have unfortunately, they haven't had the Fire 1 or 2 courses here. So we had to get on board with Hoolie River Fire, who has a private company coming in and training. So those 2 firefighters went last year, they did their Fire 1. They're going to be going this year to do their Fire 2. It's expensive, but they're the last 2 to get done. For example, the last firefighter we took on, he did 2 years at Lambton College for fire services. He just basically came to us and said, here's my certifications. We spent this year at college training. The one before that she came from Bruce Mines Fire. She has her Fire 1, so now we just have to get her Fire 2. The one before that, same thing. Did 2 years at Lambton College, was a previous summer student with us. Just came in here, I have all my certs, have to pay $0. So there comes a point when we're just getting to the end of it, we just got to push it over. So they will be training at Hoolie River Fire. We'll be Northeast Fire Emergency Conference in Huntsville. We used to go to that. I personally have never been there because there was never an agenda that I could see the purpose of going over there. This year they do. And it's going to be all about the new standards that are coming up with bunker gear, SCBAs. I think there's something coming down the pipe about SCBAs, so I think we're switching over just in time. And other things that are coming down the pipe for fire department training. Now, as I said before, we are eligible for $6,000 in funding from DSAB because we run tiered response medical calls with Sudan. Megan's put that in for this year, so we got 2025 covered. So for 2026, I put $4,000 from that number into the $15,000 of training. Now, this is not a grant, this is a reimbursement. We have to spend the money to get it back. At the end of the year, Meg puts it in, they pay us $6,000. So we've got $4,000 to get firefighters trained to medical. So the first responder training that's listed there, that's a 40-hour course. That's a 2-weekend course. Hoolie River usually runs it. So we will send as many people here to do that. There's another 40-hour course after that, which is emergency first responder. The 3 that went last year to emergency first responder, they want to go to that, and I'm quite happy to let them go to that. Work, like that's basic. If you're in BC, you can work as a paramedic in that level. BC like that. So we're gonna have them go as many courses as we get in for $4,000, and that's going to be paid for by DSAB. Does anybody have any questions about training? No? Okay. Recertification of apparatus equipment, so we have to do every year. Both for pumpers have to get pump tested. They both have commercial vehicles. They have to go in and get their commercial vehicle safety. We also have to do flow testing on our SCBAs, and our gas monitor is usually once a year has to get done. So that's what that covers.
The new ones we just bought? I'm sorry, didn't mean to interrupt.
Yeah, every year they have to get flow tested.
We just bought them. Did we get them? And now you have to recertify them.
Well, not recertified. So they were flow tested like in the fall. So we get, to save money, we get our SCBA's flow tested in February when they come to the steel plant to do their stuff. So we save money on it.
So every February we get,
Yeah, so
I got
it's just gonna fall in the regular cycle.
Yeah.
February, March, you do it, save us travel time. Now, the journal entries are not gonna match last year's. So the year before, what was this we used to have? Yeah, so when we had assessed, last year we transferred over to Simply County, and it was all new journal entries. So for like last year, you'll see repair and maintenance of vehicles. We also had one that was like vehicle expense or truck expense or something. So what's the difference? I'm like, I don't know. So we've taken out truck expense. We've taken out fire prevention. It was like $400 a year. There's no point having a journal entry for $400 a year on a $1.6 million budget. We're just going to roll that into the fire station. So it's not going to be as neat and clean this year, transferring over, but we've just kind of brought everything down. We used to have every truck, fuel for every truck. We just got fuel. I mean, there's no point. So repair maintenance of vehicles, our 2 pumpers, there's priming oil on there and they need a service. So when they come to do our pump testing, they're going to stick around for an extra day and they're going to do the service that's required on our pumpers. And we've got another 2,000 on there, which hopefully we won't have to use. Our licenses and permits, the same as the other years. Includes our radio tower rental from Spectrum, fire key, which I just showed you. Payment to the Receiver General for radio authorizations, and DZ renewal and testing and physical exams. I think we only have one person to get the D license this year, so there shouldn't be too much on that. And then fire stations, basically everything that doesn't get included in our deals. So So I have to get the $19,380 from the grant, $6,000 from DSAP. That basically runs us about 89 and change. Just from experience, we're usually between the 90 and 95 mark. So we're not above last year. We're running a little below kind of the 5-year average. So, any questions on that? That's it.
Thank you, Steve.
Great. All in favor for the full report?
aye.
Thank you much, Steve.
You're welcome. Do you
Treasurer's,
need any more?
I don't think so, no, we're good.
No.
Treasurer's reports, check logs, and revenues, November 2025, moved by Councilor Bill and seconded by Councilor Christensen.
Be it resolved that council hereby accepts the treasurer's reports, check logs, and revenues in November 2025 as information.
Any questions about the treasurer's reports? All in favor? Thank you. There is no planning. Bylaws, bylaw 2026-01, naming boards and committees, moved by Councilor Weir, seconded by Councilor Christensen.
Be it resolved that council hereby approves bylaw 2026-01, naming boards and committees for the Township of Prince, be given a first, second, and third reading in timely passed the 13th day of January 2026.
Any questions about the boards and committees?
I'm just curious when the strategic planning.
Pardon?
The strategic planning committee? When we'll be meeting.
That is a good question.
That's at the call of the council, not me. And that goes back to the previous mayor,
Yes.
because generally speaking, when a committee has not been meeting regularly and you reform it, then you are given some kind of a mandate or some parameters at least.
To be determined. We will figure that out and we'll get back to you guys. Any other questions about that? All in favor?
I want to make
Yeah,
one
please.
comment about L and M. These are both not just strategic planning, but the Assisted Powers Committee, which is what it's been called. They're both inactive, and that was the one that was looking into a
Assisted
10 or 12 unit assisted living thing. So it's sort of there if and when we decide to go that route.
Makes sense,
Yeah.
Anyone else? All in favor? Thank you. Bylaw 2026-02, interim tax levy, moved by Councillor Shutenko, seconded by Councillor Weir.
Be it resolved that council hereby approves bylaw 2026-02, interim tax levy for the Township of Prince, be given a first, second, and third reading and finally passed this 13th day of January 2026.
Any questions about the tax levy? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Bylaw 2026-03, borrowing bylaw, moved by Councillor Christensen, seconded by Councillor Caputo.
Be it resolved that council hereby approves bylaw 2026-03, borrowing bylaw for the Township of Prince, be given a first, second, and third reading and finally passed this 13th day of January 2026.
Any questions about the borrowing bylaw? We do this every year just to keep, so. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Bylaw 2026-04, fire protection grant agreement with Transfer Payment Ontario, moved by Councillor Christensen, seconded by Councillor Weir.
Be it resolved that council hereby approves bylaw 2026-04, fire protection agreement with TCOM, be given a first, second, and third reading and finally passed this 13th day of January 2026.
Any questions about the grant agreement? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Bylaw 2026-05, user fees and charges, moved by Councillor Shutenko, seconded by Councillor Caputo.
Be it resolved that bylaw 2026-05, being a bylaw to establish and require payment of users' fees and charges, be given a first, second, and third reading and finally passed this 13th day of January 2026.
Any questions about user fees and charges? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Motions and notice of motions. Kanye Bridge replacement approval for additional engineering services, moved by Councillor Christensen, seconded by Councillor Caputo.
Be it resolved that council received the request from Talak Engineering dated December 2025 regarding additional engineering services required for the Gaming Road Bridge replacement projects, and that council approved the additional engineering fees in the amount of $26,915 excluding the HST for fire foundation redesign, additional inspections, extended construction duration, and related engineering work as outlined in correspondence. And further that, council authorized staff to allocate the additional cost of the Gaming Road capital project budget funded through existing capital project allocations.
And questions? Councillor Caputo.
Mm-mm.
Anyone else? All in favor?
I think, okay, I gotta say,
Yes,
but I
please.
think that we should have to challenge this because, in good faith, we took them at their word and did what they told us. And they gave us some, and we did a lot of work on this. We had a lot of budgetary thinking and finalizing. Meg, you and your expertise went out, and I just think that I can't understand some of the pricing for the hourly rate that they get, and I want a breakdown of it. I think I'm entitled to that because of the money they were putting out. Like, I work hard and I know what I make. I don't have a ring on my finger that says I'm an engineer, and I'm not down the engineers. They are very important in the process and the life of the way that the world is being built. But, and maybe I shouldn't even say how much they get an hour, but I want to know what they do for 19 hours, and I want to know how it's broken down. Because I'm sure that if I go into the office and say to Mark, I want you to do this and type this letter for me, I'm the CAO, I know what I'm getting paid, and I know what you're getting paid, and I hope that I'm not getting out there bad, but I want to know why it costs that much money for two people for 28 hours and 19 hours. That's all I wanted to ask.
I absolutely hear you. We all know that they charge a service fee. They're not gonna put their actual hourly rate on there. It is their service rate that they charge us, of
Yeah.
course. We can definitely ask for a breakdown of those costs. However, we have challenged it 3 times.
Oh, I know we did it once.
We have challenged it a few times. I feel like this is our bottom line. They're not gonna budge anymore because we've gone at them a few times already. But, yeah, we can definitely ask for a breakdown so that we can understand what those fees are for.
You can put my name in there if you want. Say Councilor Caputo along with other counselors, would like to know the breakdown, please. And what our bang for our dollars, because I have to answer to somebody else. And they're called the
We all-
constituents.
We all do.
And so I don't know if you've got calls, but I got 2. So. Was there flooding there too? Where the bridge was, or was it somewhere else? I'm sorry, that's another topic. But that's what I wanted to say. I said it.
Yeah, that for clarification, Councillor Caputo, with regards to Tulloch and moving forward, with contracts, lesson learned, with Tulloch, we probably should have went after, a stipulated price from them, which is all encompassing. At which point, when there are extras for this, then it needs to come to be approved. However, that was not the case. And so fortunately, Meg was able to negotiate with them to get that pricing down. But that is where we'll be with that, just in the realm of contracts.
And we're signatory to them. Every so many years, our bridges and everything have to be checked and done by them.
No.
We're not signatory to them, so another agency can come in and check and do it.
They do have to be reviewed for assessment for sure. It
Yeah.
doesn't necessarily have to be told.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not picking on them.
No,
I'm
yeah.
just trying to fathom in my humble way of life.
We were in the wrong.
I think I got the wrong profession.
We were in the wrong profession. I
Okay.
agree.
But I just had to vent. Thank you for
Yeah,
reminding me.
absolutely. No worries.
I wasn't going to, but I did. And I'm
No,
glad I did.
It's important. We definitely, these are huge numbers and we are a small township. It is important. Any other comments, questions?
I'll put your hand.
All in favor?
No,
Thank you.
I just don't wanna see them on the agenda again.
Yeah. I agree. Unauthorized motorized vehicle use, Dean's Park Road, moved by Councilor Capito, seconded by Councilor Weir.
Be it resolved that council receives the information regarding residents' complaints about unauthorized motorized vehicle use at Dean's Road Park. And further that council directs staff to review possible deterrent measures, including physical barriers and signage, and report back with options and cost estimates.
Okay, so, I'm just sitting at home and I'm getting, one pretty much after the other phone calls, and one was in a worrisome state he was, because, they were tearing up the park. And he tried to intervene, which I told him don't ever do again. I said, leave that for somebody else to do, or call the police. I got advice I called the mayor, and I got advice. I told them, the family, what to do. But I should never got in my truck and drove over there. This part is not known, but I was flipped off and told things and yelled at. So now I was worried because they know where I live in that. But they're just kids and they're just trying to have fun, but go have fun somewhere else is all I said. Like, I'm not bad because you ride your bike, but look what you've done to the park. We got families and babies and they lay in the grass and it wasn't being heard. So that they're all got taken care of, and then all of a sudden it started snowing for 20 days in December. And I got the call again from another neighbor on the Dean's Road, and it was about the skidoos. And they were just jumping and kids were still playing on the swings, which was another alarming fact to me. We brought this up before about the parks and what we were gonna do and how we were gonna fix it. I know we go in there, Meg, with Mayor, through you to the financial treasurer, that we go in there with our riding lawnmowers and we service the area, we make it pretty, and the road crew does a great job. And at the behest of 2 or 3 bad apples, we have a township of people that are not able to use it or go. It is a little boggy and muddy, which makes it better for bikes and spinning, but we have to do something to stop them from entering. And if that's a removable pole where they can move it and then go in, and our only knowledge, I want them to know that. But I don't know what we have to do. We have to address it. And we've done signage, and that doesn't do anything.
We have a parks specific fund that
Yeah.
we can look at leveraging for this, as well as possible grants.
I
To
just,
see what kind of options are out there to help prevent that.
I'd like to put that forward for like the spring as soon as that we can to
Absolutely.
get it done and looked at, please.
It's definitely on our radar, so when we get information, we'll bring it back to council and see what that looks like. Any other questions or comments?
Just more of a comment along the same lines that the new park for early
Yes.
on is also seeing the same
Yeah.
issues with snow
That's right.
machines running over the new equipment.
No.
Yeah, so, it's just,
They're not supposed to be on this property, right? It's private.
It's public property, but however, when we
Sorry.
did put in, no, that's okay. When we did put in the park over here, we did agree that we would have a fence around it. So
Yes,
that
we're
is
gonna
coming.
look at that, we're gonna look at that as well. So it's definitely on our radar, so we'll get to that as.
Like I said, Counselor, it's the first I've heard of a problem. I went and examined it. It's beautiful.
Yeah,
I'm very impressed.
Yeah. for sure.
Sad.
Any other questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Correspondence, Glenye Road Bridge contractual pause and timelines, moved by Councillor Christensen, seconded by Councillor Caputo.
Be it resolved that council receives the correspondence regarding the pausing of site restoration work with expected resumption and completion dates of June 1st, 2026 and June 12th, 2026 respectively at the Glenye Road Bridge as information.
Just to confirm, Meg, is that June 1st to June 12th or June 1st and June 12th?
June 1st to
Two. Okay, any questions or comments on that?
Did anybody else get any calls about taking flight, going down the road to the bridge? I went and I didn't go more than 30 kilometers an hour, but if you do it a little faster, it is a little bit of a.
Yeah.
So I thought I just blamed it on the snow, but apparently it was before the snow. I haven't been down there. I'm sure they'll take care of it between June 11th and.
Any other questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Minutes of boards and committees, Public Library Board of Trustees, December 2025, moved by Councillor Trutenko, seconded by Councillor Christensen.
Be it resolved that council hereby accepts the library board minutes for December 2025 as information.
Any questions about the minutes for the library board? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. New business, emergency management services, moved by Councillor Trutenko, seconded by Councillor Caputo.
Be it resolved that council receives the quotation for CMC services by Phoenix Emergency Management Audit as information and provides direction to staff.
Questions about the Phoenix emergency management? It's a quote, right?
Yeah.
Questions or comments? So I think they provided three options: full service, somewhere in the middle, and then a basic option. And this is being presented purely because we've gone through a number of CEMCs and we don't have a dedicated person that is qualified to hold that position in the township. I don't personally know how I feel about someone third party doing it. However, they are experts in the field and I would trust them to do the right thing. I don't know how the council feels about that. We've put it out there a number of times to look for someone, but we haven't had any luck in obtaining and retaining a person for that position.
so, Mayor, my question would be, I know that when we had, someone in that position, for the township, they were being paid.
There's a remuneration fee, yes.
Correct. And just from my quick calculation, I would say that from what we were, providing, had we had someone on full-time, that we would be very close to the full option,
Full service
the
option.
full service option, correct?
I don't know if it's that close.
It is a significant difference.
Yes.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah, it is a significant difference, so I don't want to give the exact amounts for the honorarium
No.
here, but it's a significant difference. So let's say if, I would say less than 50%,
Okay, so that,
Say the last part again, Nick?
less than 50% of difference.
If they get paid the honorarium times 12.
Yeah.
At an annual rate of the amount that I got in this year for 2026 at 2,500, it's almost 42%, I think, in my quick guessing figures.
Yeah, yeah.
That's why I like being in a room with smart people. Then you have to put on the 13% HST, which I can't figure. True. So they come here for a course and they teach us.
So they would have to, by law, provide, I think, even Faye had mentioned during our training that it's 1 to 2 courses per year.
Yeah.
Of training, just so that, like, whoever's on that committee.
Yeah.
Would be involved in, like, knowing all the safety things that we do. Like, this year we did training, you were,
Yeah.
were you there? No, you weren't.
No, I wasn't
Sorry.
there. It's when I was in
This year we
Toronto.
did training about ice storms. So every year can be a different theme
Right.
of some sort of emergency that we kind of, and they can do tabletop exercises.
I was in a course that we had here
Yep.
at Past Council, and I was on it, and pretty enlightening and
It
very
is.
knowledgeable.
Mhm.
And preparedness was good because we had a CMC director. Well, he was pretty up and on it for quite a few years. He was
Mhm.
doing it. And hope we never have to use it, but it's something that we have to have.
Yeah, for sure. I agree. So I am the acting CEMC right now.
Yeah.
And quite honestly, like, it is something I take very seriously. You have to really be on call 24/7, 365.
Yeah.
Because you don't know when something's gonna happen, right? So it's, I don't wanna say it's a lot of pressure, but like, again, I take it seriously. I wanna be available should anything happen. If we had a service available to do that for us, it's probably, I don't wanna say it's more reliable, but they're reliable, they're there for us, right?
Yeah.
And they will make sure that we are compliant with the law every year.
So we have to decide on basic or number 1 or number 2, boss?
So,
Mayor?
yeah, so we don't have to. If you choose, as a council, if you decide we don't want to go with this company, we don't have to. It just means that someone needs to remain in that position to keep us compliant every year.
And that starts at the beginning of every year, Mayor? Through you to,
So
make-
for compliance, yes.
So there was a 90-day quote number on it. It's from when they sent us this numbers. We have 90 days to say, yes, we're gonna go with quote from Phoenix Emergency Management, or there are other ones that we can put a feeler out to and maybe get a pricing from?
We can definitely look into that for.
I mean, I know you're busy. You and David are doing a great job. I've been listening and hearing, but yeah, we have to get this.
So this quote, yes, everybody who puts out a quote is available for 90 days.
Okay.
If we choose to operate with them, they can renew the quote if we don't decide in the next, like.
And we don't have anybody who says these are right from
I don't
the
know.
Blind River yet.
Yeah, but they live on it, Susie, isn't it?
We do have one in Sault Ste. Marie?
No, that's a different.
Yeah, no, that's for the fire stuff, yeah. So I don't know that there's one here in town. That's probably the closest one.
So we have from now till March to decide?
You don't have to decide tonight. I am in the position for now. I prefer to have someone more qualified than myself to do it, but again, there's no axe over our head to say you need to decide right now. I definitely want council to think about it. Again, I'm not necessarily convinced that we go with someone who's out of town either, because they don't know our place like we do, right?
Right,
So I completely get it. I would rather have somebody close to us that is qualified to do this. That would be my preference, but to date, we haven't had any luck in
finding them here.
obtaining somebody that has those qualifications.
Okay. So now what happens? This goes on a calendar, Mayor, and then a reminder comes up to us in
Yeah, we can
2
bring it,
months and says, okay,
we can bring it back to the
Okay.
next,
Okay.
the next meeting or
Or,
whatever. Yeah, we'll bring it back to the next meeting and
Yeah, we'll have some
see how we
information
feel.
more, because
Yeah.
we'll get into it. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I say, it's something that we should definitely be thinking of, and the longer the year goes in, we have to consider those training to make sure that we're compliant. We did it really late last year. They have to be in before, they have to be in before November, so
Cool.
something to think about.
And we might not be here in November.
Oh, fair
Sorry.
enough, fair enough.
Isn't this an election year?
I was like, what? Yeah, fair enough, you're not wrong, yes.
October is the election year.
Yeah. October, yeah. All right, so to receive, so we will update our resolution to say, well, I guess it's the same,
As
we're not gonna update
information,
it. Yeah, it's as information and provides direction to staff. So our
Yeah.
direction to staff is, let's reassess it for next meeting. And all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Vulcan Fire Safety, moved by Councillor Weir, seconded by Councillor Christensen.
Be it resolved that council approves the quotation from Vulcan Fire and Safety Systems Limited for fire safety deficiency repairs and authorizes the staff to proceed.
Any questions about the Vulcan Fire Safety? So I have to imagine this is something we should do every year.
Yes.
It's an assessment that's done, and then they will do the assessment and then make any necessary repairs that are needed.
Right on.
So when we did our annual inspection, some of the things listed on this quote were absent. So we are not in compliant as of yet, but once we pass this, it will be good for us.
Any questions, comments? All in favor?
Aye.
And insurance renewal, moved by Councillor Christensen, seconded by Councillor Weir.
Be it resolved that council hereby approves the insurance renewal proposal by Marsh Insurance for the policy term of February 15th, 2026 to February 15th, 2027, and authorizes the staff to proceed.
Now, my understanding, and correct me if I'm wrong, that there are no changes to the policy and the rates are the same. So it's just our renewal. Any questions or comments about that? All in favor? Councilor Caputo, you're good?
Sorry.
No,
Yes.
all good, thank you.
I was just reading about the added coverage.
Confirming bylaw 2026/06, moved by Councilor Caputo, seconded by Councilor Christensen.
Be it resolved that bylaw 2026-06 being a bylaw to confirm the proceedings of council up to and including January 13th, 2026, be given a first, second, and third reading and finally passed this 13th day of January 2026.
All in favor?
Aye.
And adjournment, moved by Councilor Weir, seconded by Councilor Caputo.
Be it resolved that council hereby adjourns at 6:49 p.m. to meet again for the next regular meeting on Tuesday, February 10th, 2026 at 6 p.m. or at the call of the mayor.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Thank you much, council.